wonderful viewers. You're welcome to the program once again. I'm not alone today. I'm with my sister, a woman of substance, an intelligent beauty, Miss Antonia Onwume. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Today we are going to discuss part 2 of our great art, the discrimination against persons living with disability prohibition act. Part 2 is captioned accessibility of physical structure. Section 3 of it says a person with disability has the right to access the physical structures and buildings, public buildings, on equal basis with other persons. That is to say, any public building where everybody has the right to enter, people with disability has equal rights to be there. And section 2 says a public building shall be with necessary accessibility aids such as lifts and ramps and any other facility that will aid movement. Then section 5 says road sidewalks, pedestrian crossing and all other special facilities are set out in the first schedule made for public use shall be made accessible to and usable by persons with disabilities, including those on wheelchair and the visually impaired. So that means that whenever they are constructing sidewalks or you call them pedestrian bridge, anything, you must consider people on wheelchair and also the visually impaired, so that they can easily access such walkways, such entranceways. Then paragraph 6 says from the date of the commencement of this act, there shall be a 5-year transitional period where all the buildings will be redesigned to contain such facility if they don't have them before. I want to ask my sister, Sean, do you think our society is accessible?
Mr. Chairman, no. Most places we don't have that accessibilities or movement. Right? For instance, one of my colleagues at the stadium, yeah, on wheelchair, was telling me a story. One day he went to a bank. For her to enter, they say he could not enter because he's on wheelchair, and no ramp to move in. So it was like you have to stay outside. They invite somebody, one of the staff, to come and attend to her. And it's like he told me she felt bad about that. They push her back. So you can imagine that kind of society we are in. Nigerian society is bad, and it's a pain for most of us, to be frank.
Can you imagine? It also happened to somebody I know who actually is a member of my association. He complained to me that he cannot enter the bank hall unless it is closing time, where they will now open the back door for him to access. And it's very, very disheartening. These are the things this art come to address. We should give the art a chance, and that is why I'm calling on our governors, our excellencies. I know you people love us. Maybe this part of it is escaping your mind. Please, as a matter of urgency, help us to adopt this art and domesticate it in your various states, so that life will be very, very easy for persons with disabilities. We will appreciate that. Now, going further, I stop at section 6 of that part 2. So I'm going to section 7, which says that before erecting any public structure, its plan shall be scrutinized by the relevant authorities to ensure that the plan conform with the building code. Every accessibility facility must be present in a building before the plan can be approved. If it's an upstairs, it must have a lift. If it's a downstairs, it must have a ramp, because you will agree with me that some downstairs contain steps. There are downstairs, but they have small steps that will hinder wheelchair from entry. These things should be considered whenever buildings are being erected, and before such a plan can be approved, the officer in charge should as a matter of concern, look into that plan whether it contains accessibility facilities. And subsection 2 of that section 7 says a government or government agency, body or individual responsible for the approval of building plan shall not approve the plan of a public building if it does not contain accessibility facilities. Then we now have subsection 3, which says that an officer an officer who approves or directs the approval of a building plan that contravenes the building code commits an offence and is liable on conviction to a fine of 1 million naira or a term of imprisonment between 2 years or both. That means if you are an officer and you have the power to approve a plan and you, without considering the accessibility facilities in it, you went ahead to approve it, if you are taken to court and found guilty, you are going to pay 1 million naira or you even go to 2 years jail and still pay the fine. How do you see that one?
That's a very nice one. It's a wonderful idea because sometimes people do whatever they like and walk away with it in our society because nobody questions them. Mostly when contracts given to you from a governor, a somebody in a public office that you know related to or whatever, they can go ahead and do whatever they like. Some carry out kind of contract like that without considering us. So we need such, and we appreciate if that law is really practiced, if that must be always carried out to make sure that all the people living with disabilities in Nigerian society will always consider in everything, in every structure, in every now society, we'll appreciate our government for that. Thank you.
I think I agree with you. That is enough discouragement for anybody because if you know that you are going to part with 1 million naira, you will do your job.
Yes.
And we appreciate that people will begin to be aware of this act.
Yep.
Although ignorance is not an excuse before the law,
At all.
whether you know it or not, when the law come against you, uh, sorry. So we are doing our best. This is our own part of creating awareness. That's why we are having this program.
Thank
We
you.
want everybody, both the able-bodied and the disabled persons themselves, to be aware of the content of it. So that you not say you are not aware. So make it a time to stop by this our channel and watch us. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, and please share it so that other people will see it. Together, we will make things happen. Let's progress to section 8 of the same part 2. If there is a public place and I as a person with disability wants to access that place and I find it that I cannot access the place and I know that I have the right to enter there because it's a public place, I have the duty to write that person, the person in charge of that building, informing the person of my inability to access that place. And whoever is in charge has a duty to put that place in order for me to be able to access it. Failure to do that, I as an individual has a right to take that the people in charge to court and press for charges.
Yes.
That gives us a leadway.
Yes.
That means we can, without government or any NGO, we can on our own petition the office, say please this your place is not good, fix it for us
So it's
to be
all
able
working
to enter.
together. Yes.
How do you see that?
It's another idea. Good one. It's another lead way that will help us on our own to do something for ourselves without any NGO or help of government. We have our right. When we know our right, we can go ahead and fight for our rights. It's very important. Everybody, every living has his rights or own rights. The most important is to know your rights. Fight for your rights. Work towards it. Whichever way, whatever way you can try, do something for yourself. Don't always wait for government. In your own right, in what you can do for yourself or anybody to help you. It's a good way of living. It's very important. Every disabled, every person in Nigeria living with disabled with all forms of disabilities, try and learn something for yourself. Learn to know your rights, when to use your rights, and how to use your rights. It's very important because people with able bodies can always override us. They almost take advantage of us in everything, in every way, mostly in public places. So it's very important we learn to when to use our right and fight for what is right and is good for you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, my sister, for your wonderful contribution. So it's clear that we, the person of disability, we can at least take the lead. Anywhere you know you normally go but you have difficulty entering, you can write them, say please
Yes, that's
make
our rights.
put a ramp here if you are on wheelchair, or do this so I can be entering here. If they fail, then you have the right to take them to court.
Yes.
And subsection 2 of that same section 8 states that authority in charge that receives the notice in subsection 1 of section 8, but fails to comply, commits an offence and is liable on conviction. If it is a corporate body, is liable to pay the sum of 10,000 naira for each day of default. And if an individual should pay the sum of 5,000 naira for each day of default to the person who has been offended. That is to say that if you write a corporate body and say please your entrance is not accessible, please make it accessible, and they refuse to do that, if you take them to court, if it took them 30 days to, they're going to pay you 10,000 for 30 days, depending on how many days it took them to put that place in order. And if it's an individual that owns the place, the person will pay you 5,000 naira for each day until you fix that place. That is if the court finds the person guilty. I think it's a wonderful provision because you cannot take person to court if he or she did not contravene the law.
Yes.
So before you take somebody to court, you must have known that I've written this person. I even come to remind the person, I wrote to you something, why have you not fixed this place? And the person played deaf and say, okay, since you don't want to listen to me, I know the people that will make you listen. Now take them, institute a civil case against them, and it moves from there. So we just finished reading part 2, and we gathered that part 2 makes it possible for the society as a whole to be accessible by person with disability,
Yes.
by stating that a plan must not be approved unless it has accessibility facilities. And if anybody that has the duty to approve such plan goes ahead to do that without making sure that those facilities are placed in that plan, that person will pay a fine of what? 1 million naira. And so tells us that if a building that is already existing is not accessible, and you as a person with disability notify them to say please make this place, and they refuse, you can take them to court and make them to pay fines depending on the status of the place. If you're a corporate body, 10,000 naira, 10,000 naira per day for the number of days of default, and if individual, 5,000 naira per day. To me, it's a wonderful idea. The other thing now is getting people to be aware of this
Yes.
and making them to comply. So how do you think we can make people know that this is what exists and this is how they will comply?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as you said already and you read, I believe that people must have heard us and people will continue to hear us by His grace. So, as we continue to try, people must hear our voice. They will understand what you're crying for. Our right, what is just, what is right for all of us, for we all in our society. Because whatever is good to be done.
Yes.
So if we try a way, do what is supposed to be done, and our society refuse to comply, we'll do what is right. You know what is right. Go to the court, take them to the court for to the law to justify, and they must surely try. Because once it's taken to the court, then the court take over. They will judge the case and they will pay a fine, which is very important. So it's a good provision, it's a good idea. And it will help us to build our society, build ourselves, both able and disabled people in our society. It's a wonderful and welcome idea to help us.
Don't
Let
you
God
think
help us.
don't you think our National Commission for Persons with Disability also has a duty to write to these offices that are in charge to notify and say, please, this is what we want from you people? Don't you think they should do that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's very important. It's good. they will do it. But we hope our government who made this law will help and force them to do what is right. It's the duty of our government to make a provision for our society and make people to comply with those provisions, because we can't do all this on our own. So our government should take over from there, then we'll follow up.
Thank you very much.
No concern.
This thing, when you were speaking, it remind me of somebody I know, an able-bodied person. He has a building. That building is a duplex. So all the rooms are upstairs. The only room they have downstairs is the visitors' room and toilet. So the other walls are their living room. That's the parlor. So in the afternoon they are downstairs, but at night they must climb up to sleep. But a time came, all the children of that person were outside. So they have gone to get their own homes, and this person is living alone. Age came, and this person can no longer climb up.
See,
This person is now now have to sleep in the visitors' room downstairs. Because when he was building that house, he was a strong person, energetic, and so
yes,
there's no provision for
old age.
yes. He never envisaged that one day he would find it difficult to climb stairs. So there was no provision. Now at old age, all these rooms upstairs became rooms for cockroaches and you're laughing. It's not a funny matter.
It's a funny matter somehow.
What I'm trying to say is that even in your private homes, we don't have the power to force you, but you should consider all those things, because disability is nobody's inheritance. Anybody can be disabled.
Anybody can say yes.
Disability can come by
At
old
old
age.
age, yes.
Accident can even cause disability.
Exactly.
Sickness can make you disabled.
Disabled, yes.
So if you provide that thing even in your own personal house, even for your own good, maybe I will come to visit you as a disabled person. I will be able to climb. I'm not forcing you, but at least for your own good, because if this person I'm talking about has made provision, at that time when he became old and cannot climb, he will just enter his lift and he will get to the up and still sleep in his room. But now he can no longer sleep there. Cockroaches do that. All these war geckos were sleeping there. Spider. Those are the landlords of that room upstairs. So he himself became a visitor that sleeps in the visitor room downstairs. That is what improper planning can cause. And for us to avoid all these things, you have to put plans very straight. Consider things that are unknown. It's not fear, it's preparation. Because nature does not announce to anybody when it comes. Nobody knows what will happen to you. I that I speak to you, I never knew I would be disabled until I became disabled. So let's help ourselves. As you are helping person with ability, you are making plan for your own future in case of eventuality. I'm not praying that evil will happen to everybody, but at least let's make Nigeria accessible. That's what I'm preaching. I want to appeal to Ministry of Information. They have a duty to help us to propagate this gospel. Yes, let them sponsor jingles, sponsor talk shows that will be on our national radios and televisions. It will help us. Also appeal to those that are in charge. We don't have to force you to do your work. Normally, you know the right thing.
Yes.
And let's do the right thing. Do your work squarely. Don't collect bribe and say, go ahead, don't mind them. You don't feel enter, make them stay. What of tomorrow? You find out that you cannot enter that place yourself. What would you do? You will join us and be shouting. Because many have done that now. I know of a person who told me that when he was at school, he never knew he would be a blind person. But today he's blind and he's a member of John Appeal. Can you imagine that? So, let me tell you, as you are helping us, you might be helping somebody close to you without knowing it. The struggle is for all of us. So, we have shouted enough. And I cannot stop appealing to our excellencies, the governors of all our states, who are yet to adopt and domesticate this art, to please do that. You have that as a duty to show us love. And that is the only love we think we did from you for now.
Yes.
Create our commission. Pass the bill and domesticate it. Let it begin to work and give us the voice to speak for ourselves.
And work for ourselves.
Yes.
feed for ourselves
Yes.
without looking for anybody to dash us. No need dash.
Yes.
The world has gone beyond that. We
Yes.
need to fish our fish
We have
and eat the guy we
intellectuals.
want. Give the one who wants to give to. So that's what we're praying for. And we are crying for loudly for this. Please permit me to also send this message to our His Excellency Dr. Fanyo Kowa. Please remember, don't forget us. As you're building, before you complete this our new secretariat complex, make sure there is standard light and a lift there. We won't like to hear the disabled goes there one day for one thing or the other, and if they will fall down, we will not be happy with you. Even after your governorship out of that office, please help us. Don't forget. God bless you.
It's like you're not going to secretariat yourself.
The new secretariat?
Uh-huh.
I've not been there yet.
That's why you said this now.
Oh, please tell me.
You should be applauding the governor.
His Excellency,
Because
thank you.
he
God bless
placed
you.
us first when he was drawing the plan.
Boza,
Yes.
100 million, 100 boza.
The day I went to that place,
Wow.
that's Professor Chike Dozier Secretariat.
Wow.
That's what the place is called.
God.
From the gate till the fourth floor, that's the number four floor where I went. It was jolly.
Jesus.
My wheelchair, I just have to went into the lift. And before I could blink my eye, I am there.
Wow.
And as I'm coming down, before I could Jack, I'm down.
Wow.
So he considered us 100% when he was designing our place. And so I'm happy for that.
I've not been there.
Yes. That when you said I knew you were not there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I only allowed you to finish before I correct you.
That's wonderful.
We appreciate him for that.
We love you so much.
And we want to tell you that as you have done that in Professor Chike Dozier Secretariat, please remember that other offices we need to enter there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We need to
other offices.
Of course.
Let them begin to reconstruct.
Yes, so consider us.
Yes. So that everything will be jolly for us. We have civil servants everywhere. And some of them are finding it difficult to
move.
And that brings something to my mind. When you talk about accessibility, there are some streets in Asaba where Keke cannot access.
Thank you.
And we physically challenged. We have a problem. When I want to go there, Keke will say, they will hold you. They will hold you. I say, who will hold you? Say, you don't just say that Keke don't go there. So how do you expect disabled to go there?
To walk into that place.
We have to stop by the junction. And now trek with crutches. Some of us don't even have crutches. You have to hold our legs and stagger.
Like a dog.
When people are making policies, please remember there are disabled persons among us.
Please.
What is accessibility you are talking about? Because if you cannot have vehicle to access the place, how can we go there?
We can't go now.
Now, Keke say you cannot enter there because they will hold you. Even when I'm going, they might allow you to enter. Then when you coming back, you no longer be carrying a disabled, so they will hold you. So because that, you will not even venture to try. I've tried that several times and they refuse. So now, when I carry you there, how will I come back? So please, they were begging whoever is in charge of our capital territory development, whoever is in charge, please consider the disabled and relax that law so that we can access every part of our Delta State as a whole.
Not only Asaba, other cities, other states, villages, communities. Please, in Nigeria, all over Africa, all over Nigeria, we are begging you, our governors, our leaders, help us, consider us. As you're helping us, you're helping yourselves as well.
Yes, sir.
Nobody can tell tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I have some of my colleagues in the sports commission here, coaches, secretaries suddenly had an accident. They are disabled now. Before the one came to work, hey, sorry, I didn't know what people are passing through. Now I knew. Sorry. Whenever I say, sorry, people work, sorry. I say, don't sorry me. You are there now. God forgive us. But you see, that's why it's not going to see us, you laugh at us. When we cannot work, you look at us somehow. When we complain for certain things, waiting they worry these people, waiting they worry them. No. Consider us. So consider ourselves. We are one. Nobody prays for it. Please help us.
Yeah. I think we have said all we need to say concerning accessibility. And we thank you for stopping by and listening to us. Before we go, my sister, what's your final word?
My final word, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate you anyway. First of all, I really appreciate you for starting this program, the wonderful one. We are going somewhere. Started it alone. I thank God for it because say he who began a good work in our life, say he will be faithful to complete it. Yes, he will give you the wisdom to start it. He will be faithful to finish it. Because some days we are heading to somewhere. We have our studio, open our studio, our radio station, television station, and people who will watch us. We started it already. But God, I pray that I urge you all, our leaders, our governors, help us. to build society, make a better society for all, for disabled, for you ables. Please make it a better society. Long live Nigeria, long live State, long live Asabaland. God bless our governor that made a good structure, new secretariat complex for considering us. God bless you.
Thank you very much. My own final word is not different from hers. I just want to call on our governor. Please, remember, we want you to pass that act, adopt it, and domesticate it in our state
Yes.
so that everywhere will be fine for us.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you have done. But if you cannot, you that is a disabled loving governor, we know that you love us so much.
So much.
If you fail to pass
Wonderful
this law for us, I don't think any other person can do it.
at all. Please.
So before your tenure
Expire.
elapses,
Please.
make it as a concern of yours to adopt the law, domesticate it, and make sure an implementation commission that is run by disabled themselves is created. We appreciate you. We love all of you for stopping by. And don't forget to like this channel, subscribe, and share it. Because with you, we will make it happen. The sky is our limit. Don't forget, like I used to say, there's nothing about us without us. Bye-bye.